G'day everyone, it's NQ Explorers again. Today we're on a metal detecting trip to a Chinese camp in the old Croydon Goldfields. My research has led me to a spot that I'm pretty confident I'll get maybe some Chinese artefacts and relics if I'm lucky. What I'm showing you here is the famous Normanton to Croydon railway line. This is a 3 feet 6 gauge line that was built in the 1890s. It's unique in Queensland and pretty much in Australia. It's still run by the government, it's still open. There's one train a week, it's a tourist rail motor. But it's separate from the entire Queensland railway system. It's not attached to the rest of the system. It just runs for about 150 kilometres from Normanton, which is a river port, to service the Croydon Goldfields. And typical of government lines in that time, it arrived at the Goldfields just as the gold ran out, but anyway, it's still here. Now, the main threats to this line in this really harsh country, I mean this is Gulf Savannah, we're in tropical Australia. Today actually, I'll tell you now, it's 43 degrees centigrade. I'm not sure what that is in the old scale, but it's 100 plus. Very hot. Very arid conditions that these locomotive crewmen had to drive these old A10 locomotives. They were timber fired, just with these bush timbers from this scrub country in this area. And white ants or termites are voracious out here, so there was the white ants, there was the floods, and there was the heat and all sorts of things. So to come up with a solution for the line to exist on a low maintenance basis, the chief engineer, a chap by the name of Phillips, patented these sleepers, which I'll show you now. They're steel sleepers, so obviously a white ant can't eat the steel sleeper. It's like a U-section, which sits directly on the ground with no ballast. There's no ballast on the line whatsoever, it's just natural dirt. And so it just sits on top of the ground, the flood washes over it, minimal damage, there's no washaways and that sort of thing. As you can see, there's a small embankment here. There's a bridge, an old steel bridge behind me, which I'll show you in a minute. And you can see how it's stone pitched on the upstream side to prevent the flood damage here. But by and large, minimum maintenance and minimum cost. So it was built in the 1890s to service those goldfields down there, and it's still in operation today. Just one train a week now though. But anyway, I'll take you down and show you this bridge, and then we'll head off down that way. And we've got about another 120 kilometres to go, and we'll be at the old Chinese camp, so we'll do a bit of detecting down there. Okay, well here's a typical bridge on this line. Once again, avoiding the use of timber. It's cast iron and riveted steel. Beautiful old bit of engineering out in the absolute middle of nowhere here. You can see that old concrete head wall up there. She looks like she's been there since 1890. But darnly light traffic on this line now. What I'll do is I'll get up and see if I can get a stamp on these rails with a date when they were rolled. It should be 1880 something. We'll have a look. Okay, well here's the steel the rail on the bridge approach. I don't know if you can see that on the video. It says West Cumberland Steel, 1886. So that's been sitting there for a very long time. And like I said, it's still here, and it'll be here for a long time to come yet, because once again, well, like I said, there's minimum maintenance. The white ants don't eat the sleepers, so they haven't got to have fettler crews out all the time replacing sleepers. These sleepers have been here, they'll put here once and they'll stay here forever. So anyway, let's get going. We'll see, we'll head off down the highway, and we'll see if we can find that Chinese camp I've been researching. Okay, well we're about another 50 kilometres closer to our destination. Just show you another little spot in the line. This is typical Gulf Savannah country that this line passes through. And I just thought I'd show you again this Phillips Sleeper. Here's a good example here. As you can see, it's been packed with earth and a little bit of the native gravel from the area, but there's no embankment and there's no ballast. So in the floods just wash across this line, and it can be several metres deep in places. And it's virtually undamaged. It just sits underwater and it's fine, and when the water subsides, the line's back in use again. So we'll keep heading towards the east there, and we'll see if we can come across that Chinese camp. Well, we're getting there, we're not there yet. As you can see there, the highway parallels the old railway, and I've been looking out as I go to see if anything caught my eye. This here caught my eye. It was an old water tank. Thought this might have been possibly a fettler's camp. This small pieces of steel laying around and that sort of thing, but these camps would have been all along this line. Most of them undocumented. I don't know how you'd fare in a place like this from a metal detecting point of view, because these blokes, well, they would have had personal items. There wouldn't have been too many coins and artefacts, I don't suppose. Here's a bottle, but I think it's got a screw top. Yeah, just laying on the top like that. But anyway, here's a good example of these Phillips Sleepers sitting on top of the ground over here. This is, you can see the, once again, no ballast, just sitting directly on top of the ground. And there's the line, you can actually see it's sitting up in the air a bit there on top of the sleepers. Good one. This rail here is B and C Company, and then there's like a government arrow, and the date, the rolling date is 4th of the 4th, 1885. Okay, well here I am in the site of the old Goldfields camp, which I believe was a Chinese camp. It's on the fringes of town. As was the deal in those days, the Chinese miners weren't allowed to stay in town with the white miners, the Australians and the Europeans. The Chinatown was always on the fringes of town, where they might have had a market garden, and they often stayed on after the gold rushes to in shops and things like that. But anyway, I'm going to have a good look around here, see if we can pick up anything that might associate this area with the Chinese. But straight away I can see I'm at least I'm in the area. You can see here we've got an old piece of thick, look at the glass. There might even be some bottles in here, eh? So definitely on the spot. So we'll just have a couple of hours in here and see what we can come up with. Here's my first dug target. It's a very typical Goldfields find, is a brass saddle stud. They give a lovely signal on the detector. Because there's quite a fair bit of brass in those little fittings, but they're quite a common find in the Goldfields. That's great. Well, that means they've been in here. So I'll just keep scouting around this area. If I can keep going in the heat, I'll just keep drinking plenty of water. Like I said, it's 43 degrees out here today, and there's a bit of smoke haze around. There's a few bushfires to the north. Okay, on we go. Well, just adjacent to that saddle stud, I've got a lovely signal here. I'm not sure what this is. It's a lead roofing nail. So that means it could have been an old building here. Well, that's promising. Maybe a bit more substantial than just a tent camp. I've just come through that little section there. I've got the lead roofing nail and the brass saddle stud. Little bits of iron laying around, but I dug this hole with a lovely signal. This purple glass came up. Obviously this is all 19th century stuff here. Look at this. And amongst it, out came this little beauty. It's a Chinese cash coin. Chinese coin, look at that. Well, it is a Chinese camp. My research has paid off on this occasion. Okay, I'll give that a clean, and I'll get some detail up in the macro for you. They don't stamp the Chinese coins with the year, they're with the emperor, and the emperor's reign is indicated, but most of these will date from the 19th century, but there's some are very much older than that, because the Chinese came out with their own money and they actually used their own currency in Australia, outside what was allowed by the authorities. They did use British coins at the time too, of course, but most of their transactions were with their own Chinese currency. So we'll clean this up and have a look at him, eh? Back in a sec. Well, there she is. It's a lovely little Chinese cash coin. I think that's called a well, they have got a name. I call them a half cash because they're the small one. Dirt's really caking to that. I'll take that home and clean it and I'll oil it, and I'll do some nice still photographs so you can see it more clearly in the video, and I'll get the emperor's name off the script. There's plenty of resources on the internet for details on these Chinese coins. See, that side there I've cleaned. This side I haven't properly cleaned. But I love finding these old Chinese coins. It's a real Goldfields feeling when you get these Chinese coins. I think there are about 4,000 Chinese miners on this site, in this area. So it's quite a substantial number, and a lot of them would have come in on that railway when it was completed that I showed you earlier on. Anyway, that's great. We'll keep hunting around here, so there's more of these cash coins. But I just checked that hole before I filled in where I just got that Chinese coin, and there's this lovely old latch hook in there. It's got a number on it, 541 or something. It's on that side. As you can see, some sort of ornate moulding on the other side. It might be off a little old jewellery box or something, some such. Well, that's a good little find. Good little spot here. Like I said, there's all this old purple glass. Look at that. So there's obviously a lot of activity here, and it's worth persevering in this spot. Okay, back shortly. Well, literally 2 swings from that last coin, I got another one, another Chinese coin. This is the big one, or the large size. And look, you can clearly see the Chinese script on that one. I've only just wiped it slightly. Like I said, I won't clean them too much, and I'll put up some pictures on the macro, but that is just a beauty. I love finding these old Chinese coins. That's fantastic. Well, they could be quite old. Like I said, these can stretch back way beyond the 19th century, because the Chinese who came here brought lots of this stuff with them, and some of it's very old. But of course there's no European dates on them. Excellent. Well, that's one of the big coins. I'll put that up with a comparison with the little half coin I found earlier on. Excellent. On we go. Well, I couldn't resist going back to the four-wheel drive and cleaning it up. Look at that. That is in great condition, that coin. That's no corrosion there. That's just the, it's like a grey clay that really sticks to it, but that'll clean up nicely with a soft toothbrush. And we'll definitely get an emperor off that one. Beauty. Well, that's great. 2 Chinese coins. I've literally only been here 15 minutes, so this is a great start to the hunt. Well, I just came around here, around this little old bush here, and this is just slightly under the surface, and get a lot of ceramic. Here's one of these Chinese blue plates, or just one of the old 1900s blue plates, 18th century. And lovely signal. I've got a pocket watch part relic. Looks like it's the back and the winder are complete. I don't know if that's going to be silver, but I'm not going to attempt to clean that here. I'll clean that up and I'll try to put a still photograph up, because that clay's really caked into her. But that's definitely the back of a pocket watch with the winder. Good one. That's another 19th century relic. So, well, I'm only hunting a very small area here, so it shows you don't have to travel far to get a lot of good finds. If you find the little camps like this, they don't necessarily extend too far into the distance, but you can get these concentrations of targets. There's plenty of targets here, so we'll keep on with it. Well, I'm having a great time here. More old, look at this old bottle, purple bottle with an M or a M on the bottom. And look at next to it, another Chinese cash coin. That's another big one, and that's in good condition. I won't clean it, and I'll present these coins together as a set. I'll definitely get an emperor off that one. Maybe similar to the last. You can see the Chinese characters on it there. Excellent. Well, this is definitely Chinatown. So you can often find opium implements and that sort of thing in these sites too, so anything can turn up next. Well, I just got this curious piece. It's a leaf of some sort. It's sort of something cut and it's been studded to something. It may be a bit of saddle decoration. It's clearly symmetrical and it's been manufactured, but I won't clean that. Once again, that clay's really sticking to this stuff, so I can't really clean it in the field, unfortunately. But I'll put any details on that on the video. Actually, it looks like it may have a hole in the middle, eh? Oh, it has, look. Oh, I don't know what that is. Some sort of floral design of some sort. Well, next finds a little bit of mechanism from a clock. For the appearances, steel, badly corroded. Or the steel axle is anyway. Okay. Well, she's a productive spotter. I just got my 4th Chinese coin, cash coin. That one's pretty clogged, but I won't. They're reasonably well cast, these things, but I don't want to interfere with it too much until I can clean it properly at home. Definitely a Chinese coin, and they're all in close proximity. Well, these Chinese miners drop some money, eh? Okay, on we go. Okay, I was just checking that hole where I just got that last cash coin, and out this comes, it's a lovely little brass ornate leg. It looks like it's got a little screw fitting on the top. I'd say that's been off a little, jewellery box or something that goes on a dressing table. You can see it's got that little screw attachment at the top. I'll clean that up and polish it. It's a little brass turned leg. Well, I'm really excited about this. You can get multiple signals here. I just scraped it once. What came out? Beautiful Chinese coin, this one. Look at that. That is perfect. Just perfect. And I think it may be a 18th century Chinese coin spill, because I'm pretty sure there's more targets in there. I'll just show you with the detector shortly. Good one. I think that's the 5th coin I've got, isn't it? Excellent. Well, the second target out of that hole after that coin was a piece of lead. There's a nice signal in here. It's come out. Only mid-tone, which is what these coins generally give off. Sorry, no, oh, whoa, look, what's this? Oh yeah, oh, ripper. It's a brass button. Well, that'll be from a European miner, of course, with the brand on it. I'll subtitle that brand. Ask for crowns, is it? Well, no, something crowns anyway. So that the Chinese miners didn't wear the European style shirts. Their buttons were just like little brass balls with a toggle on the back. This is, oh, look, sorry, Thistle Clothing. There you go. Beautiful old brass button from the Goldfields. Good one. Okay, well, there was a coin, the Chinese coin, this button and a piece of lead in here, so we'll see what else targets we can get out of this hole. Back shortly. Well, the next target's another beautiful brass button. Not such a common one up this way. Well, you'd expect it to be, but we don't find too many of them. It's the Queensland Woolen Company Limited. Usually you get the crowns, they ask for crowns, our own make and those sort of things, but we don't get too many of these Queensland Woolen Company. That's a good one. Well, that's good. Okay, well, that's the hole I've been working on. We'll see what else comes out of here. There may be more targets in there. I'll just double check it before I fill it in. Well, I'm going to wrap it up now. Like I said, it's very hot out here today, 43 degrees. It's cooking. I'm going to go back to the four-wheel drive for a cold drink. That's the area in there where I was picking up all those Chinese artefacts and coins. This whole area I believe to be a Chinese camp, so it's certainly worth a revisit, but I better get, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I've got a 7-hour drive home, so I better get going. But the old adage on the way back to the car, didn't turn the detector off, and I've got a sunbaker. Have a look at this. It's a Chinese cash coin, a big one too, sunbaking. Beautiful. That may be 6 I got. Now I'll definitely get the Emperor and some information off that one. Look at that. That is glorious. It's lain there for over 100 years in the boiling sun. Unbelievable. Anyway, well, that's a great way to finish. Thanks everyone for watching that video. I really appreciate you commenting on our channel and subscribing, and best of luck on your next trip out in the bush or wherever you're heading, the park or the beach. Bye for now.